What's up guys, and welcome to another video here on AbbsterTCG. Maybe my editor will do a cool cut there, we will see, but I hope so. But for today's video I'm going to interview my good friend Fabian, otherwise known as Krulsor. He is a Swedish guy from our locals and our team, Tiki Card Games. And last year he actually won a regional playing the Black-Yellow Luffy. So we're going to talk a little bit about testing, how to play and how to get better at the game, because I think he won the regional 4 months after he started playing, so he has definitely had a high rise to the top, and he has put in a lot of work and grind into it. And we are also going to do a little bit of a deck tech on he likes to play today. He's like the rogue guy on locals. He wants to play the deck that's not that popular and he wants to cook with it. So we're going to do a little bit of a deck tech on his red purple Luffy list as well. So now it's enough yapping from me. I will send it to me in the past and with Fabian. So guys, we are back now here with this beautiful guy Fabian. You can see him here on the screen. So we can start with introducing yourself and shout out your socials.
Yes, my name is Fabian. I go by Krulsor on my YouTube channel. I'm a 25-year-old guy living in Stockholm and a jazz musician as my main hobby or profession. I've played a lot of card games, or not a lot of card games, but I've played card games for a long time and started One Piece for, I think, like 1.5 years ago. I don't remember. OP04, is that?
Yeah, you started playing at the end of OP4 even, I think, right before Akatsuki came out.
Yes. I remember I got to borrow a deck at our locals, and then I bought a green-purple Doflamingo as my first deck. I had a lot of fun playing it. And yeah, I've been playing ever since, and really enjoy the game. And yeah.
Yeah, and your socials?
I only have like my Twitter, which is also Krulsor. Krulsor is with a Z at the end. Krulsor is.
Yes, I will link it down below. It's a reference to his hair.
Yeah, exactly.
Like it's curly.
In Swedish.
Yeah, in Swedish. Yeah. So actually, I think you are a great example of how to start playing and how to approach the game. Like you started playing OP04, and right before OP07 you won the regional with like directly after the Black-Yellow Luffy came out. So that's not a long time. So if you want to go a little bit how you have been testing and what it takes for you, because I think you are a really good example of how to do it if you want to be good at the game.
Yes, I feel like the main thing that I do is that I watch a lot of gameplay. Like I watch a lot of gameplay. Usually I watch Eastern content, which is a set earlier. So when a new set drops, I'm already kind of well familiarized with the meta and how decks pair up against each other. So I learn a lot from that, like seeing how they play and thinking. It's a bit of a problem that you can't see the player's hand. So I have to like do a lot of thinking. It's like, okay, why did they do that? Did they not have that card in the hand? And if they would have the card, was it better to play it? Or so you can learn a lot by analyzing gameplay. And then I just feel like I test a lot. I really enjoy deck building, so I try a lot of different card combinations for leaders, and also test like specific matchups. You know, I've always known this since when I played like Red Purple Luffy in OP 4.5 or even OP 5.
Yeah.
I always wanted to play against Sakazuki, you know, over and over again. And he stumped me so many times that I was like, there's gotta be a way. There's gotta be a way to like make this matchup winnable. And I really feel like you just have to focus on like your bad matchups and really analyze how you can go about winning them by making some like small adjustments to deck list and micro decisions during the game.
Yeah, and you saying that you played this a lot is an understatement. I remember Utrecht, like the start of 2024, when they just dropped the ranked on the simulator, and you told me that you had the most games of all on the simulator.
Yeah, I was kind of embarrassed that the people in my locals saw that. I didn't know that it was public, you know. So.
Yeah, no, but that's a good thing because you have to play a
Yeah.
lot to be good at the game. Like, that's a good example that you won a regional like half a year into starting playing this game. That's just because you tested a lot, you played a lot, and then this guy has been cooking too. Like every time I play my locals, I have to think about, okay, what new tech is in his deck. We played a box tournament the other day, and I played Teach, and he played Red Purple, and I attacked for a 6 turn 1, and he got this Hawkins trigger to get a dodge. So you always have to be careful with this guy. But yeah, in this video too, I want to, when I guess, go over a little what deck they're playing right now. So we're going to do a little bit of a deck tech, where Fabian shows his RP list. I think his RP list is a little bit different to other lists, to combat the meta a little bit better, and he's choosing to do some other card choices than some other list what I've seen, and I think it's probably the best list out there. So I'm just going to do this cool transaction now, and then we will see the list.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're back at the deck profile, so let's start.
Yes, so this is my red purple Luffy list that I'm playing currently. So we have the leader here, very strong, being a 6k. Very weak, having 3 life, but you have some cards to negate that. So first of all, we're playing one of the best cards in the game, 4 of the Giant. There's no question here. It's an insane boost that we got this set, and it's what makes the deck viable. If you see multiple of these, you have a chance of winning against every deck.
This card is completely broken, especially in a deck where you ramp up fast and they will go online early. I think this card will be broken in any deck you can play them in, like all Straw Hat leaders. So yeah, really good card.
Yeah, and I feel like it's like the best in red purple even, because like in purple Luffy, when you use this, you kind of use it even when you're not at 10 don, so you can't really go to 10 ever. But because of this leader skill, even if you go like, if you're at 9 don and you play down a 9 cost Luffy, you go -1, you go to 8. Or if you're at 10 don, I mean, and you have 10 cost Luffy, you play it, you're at 9 don, and then you have 1 open for this. So you go next turn to 9, and you can use leader to 10. So you always get value from your leader skill because of the Don Knight here.
Giant, yeah.
And then we play some 2Ks here. I'm going for the defensive cards first. So 4 of the Usohachi, the best purple 2K. Very needed for the black-yellow matchup, black-yellow Luffy. 4 of the Sanji 2K, which is the second best 2K, which is also Straw Hat. And 2 of the Franosuke. Franosuke is good against Blackbeard because it can get rush, even though it doesn't care about on plays, so you can have some clutch damage and also some clutch lethals with this card, but it's mainly a 2K. For the ramp, I'm playing 4 Sorayuru, 4 Von Clay, and 2 Lead Performer. I'm debating on whether to stick with only these 8 cards, but when you're going second, you really need to see ramp, I feel like, so having 2 more feels worth it sometimes. Even though it has no counter, it's very good on curve.
I think we talked about Lead Performer versus the Basil Hawkins, because Basil Hawkins have counter but does not draw a card, and this card draws a card. I think when we talked about it, the Giant can just cycle the Lead Performer if it need it.
Yeah, exactly. The problem is that there's so many cards in Red Purple Luffy that doesn't have counter, so adding more just kind of feels bad, but now I'm playing some more cards which can cycle, so I feel more okay playing this. And also, obviously, the trigger, like if you get a trigger, you're very far ahead.
Yeah,
if you get it from
it's a broken card if you get it as a trigger.
Yeah. Okay, so we play 4 of the Nami Searcher. You have to play 4 because you can search Giant, and also you can search Sorayuru, which is very important for the early game. For the mid game, I play 4 Yasops. I think 4 is necessary just because of Doflamingo matchup. Against a lot of other decks, there are other cards I would rather play, but since Doflamingo is so prevalent in the meta, I really feel like you need 4. So going first, your best curve is like Sorayuru into Yasuo, and then you're basically stabilized, but it's not searchable.
So I think most lists play for Yasuo, right?
Some people are like, I don't know, I've seen some lists in OPO 10 at least, which cut him. And some people are playing like free, but I don't know. If you're gonna play him, you might as well play 4 because you want him only on your third turn. So maximize the chances of seeing him on that turn. I play 2 Frankie, which is like the survivability blocker. There's 2 blockers which you can choose from. Apart from Frankie, which is the starter deck Onami, and 5-cost Queen. So far, I've settled with Frankie, thinking about how he's searchable, and also Don Minus has some synergies with Leader Skill, for example, and also with Sanji. And also him being a 5k is relevant in some matchups. For example, in Blackbeard, he's better than the Onami. And also, like, if you're playing against I don't know, Lucci or something, and you're playing this out, like trying to survive. If they don't kill you and this card survives, you can swing with him for lethal. So I feel like there are some instances where he is better than Onami. But I'm not sure. Don -2 is kind of heavy also.
So I think there's one more. Maybe you're going to show it later now, but the 4-cost Law.
Oh yeah, true. I haven't tested with him. My main thing is, I guess, he's also not searchable. And in a blocker, I'm looking for card draw, which you really need also against Doflamingo.
And especially in this deck where you can stock up on bricks in hand, it's good to be able to cycle to. Because Frankie discards 1, draws 2, right? Or draws 2, discard 1?
Trash 1 first.
Draw 2, So you can trash the All-Stars or... I was going to say Giant, but you don't want to trash it. But like the big drops if you don't need them.
I guess you could try out like the 2-cost Shiki as well. But he doesn't really draw you 1 card, he just cycles 1. But he's also a lot cheaper. I don't know, I feel like you need some blockers. I've tried running no blockers at all. But I feel like 2 is enough since you have Sanji as well, which can act as a blocker. I'm not sure about the Frankie, but I like him. I kind of like him. I have like a note on my phone where I write down every time Frankie was better than Onami, or when it was the same, or when it was worse. So far it's been better.
That's a good thing to do actually when trying different texts to maybe write it down if it's working on the spot. So that's a good idea. So if you guys wanna be a regional champion, write down on your phone.
Get your phones out. I'm playing 4 of the 7-cost Kid. Also because of the Doflamingo matchup. This is like the key to winning Doflamingo. You can see on my channel I uploaded some videos against Doflamingo, and you can really see how this card shines in the matchup. Going second and having ramp on 4 done into this is like the only way you can stabilize going second, because the going second curve is very awkward in this deck. So 7-cost Kid, I feel like you need 4, also because it's not searchable. And he also has some synergies with other cards. I'm playing 2 Ben Beckman, which is acts as another 7-drop play. He's good against Bonnie in particular, because you can deal with Cavendish, which you can't really do otherwise. Also Carrot. And Bonnie is like one of the worst matchups for this deck. So just having this card as an out in some cases, as well as having counter, and also like being kind of good if you miss Kid on your 7-Don. Also good against black-yellow, going for lethal sometimes, or even just removing a 5-cost Luffy, which hasn't activated ability. I feel like he has a lot of cases, and because he has counter, I feel like it's worth to play
Yeah, and also with the black yellow, he trashes, right? So you can actually
Yeah.
kill the sabos or through a sabo.
Mm.
Maybe in some
And in
cases, yeah.
Yeah. In
Uh,
some fringe cases, also against Blackbeard, if they don't use leader skill when you're at 7, you can sneak away a Burgess because they don't expect it.
yeah.
But I haven't done it, but I feel like it's possible.
So if you play Fabian Arclight on the sim or in real life, always play around Ben Beckman.
Yeah, you gotta respect it.
That's
you
a
gotta
tips.
respect.
That's a tips. Tips from the coach or something.
I will continue with the late game. I play 4 of the 8-cost dragon. I like having 4 of him because when you go to 8 and use leader skill and go to 9, you can play this and still have 1 don open for giant, which is important in some matchups. And he also synergizes kind of well with Yasuo. So because you can give him don and use him to give minus. And also he has Rush against Blackbeard, which is one of your bad matchups. And I'm kind of building this as a way to be able to deal with my worst matchups, which are Doflamingo and Blackbeard and Bonnie. But I don't really expect to face a lot of Bonnies. But so especially Blackbeard and Doflamingo is this list is for. And against Blackbeard, the dragon is just insane. And also against Doflamingo, it's good because of you being able to leave one open for the giant. And I'm playing 3 of the 9-cost Luffy. And yeah, there's some things to say about Luffy because the 9-drop spot is like, there's a lot of good cards you can play. You can play Newgate, 9-cost Newgate. You can play 9-cost Lin. Newgate is, of course, better against Doflamingo because they like to swarm the board, and with Newgate you can be harder to hit. But I kind of like Luffy being searchable, drawing you a card. Like, dropping him always feels good, no matter what deck you play against. And you can't like go teching entirely for one deck. You have to be able to like have a good matchup against multiples. So I feel like I've teched enough against Doflamingo, whereas I like this more than having a Newgate or Linlin, for example. I'm not really a fan of Linlin. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah,
maybe
and he's also good against the Flamingo, so it's not a bad card. Like,
yeah,
Newgate is good because you pump your leader, but with this card you can get in another attack and then you can ramp 1 to go 7 and then 10 and draw a card.
Yeah.
So it's not bad either against Duffy.
No. And for the last top end, we're playing Shanks. 3 of the Shanks. 10-drop Shanks. I really like having Shanks in the deck. There's a lot of good plays you can do. Like, for example, going first, if you manage to ramp twice, you can drop Shanks on your what did it become? Your 4th turn. You can drop a Shanks. And if you have Kid on the board, you can be able to have 1 active still when you drop Shanks, because you play Shanks, attack with this, go don minus, use leader for 1 active. And if you are able to do that, like for example against Doflamingo, you're in a very good spot if you have at least 1 life still. So Shanks is, and also like against Purple Luffy, he's very good. Against Blackbeard, he's very good. Against Shanks, is very good. And I enjoy having him because he's so like flexible in being able to be aggressive and also making your opponent have minus on their characters so they can't swing as hard. And yeah, he just feels amazing to drop if you can manage to get the timing off.
Yeah, and when playing Teach, especially when I play against Shanks, I think, as I said, that matchup is good. And when he drops Shanks, you can always chain it with one of your 10 drops to shut it down for the turn. But when playing against this deck, he's going to drop the Shanks before you even like maybe have enough resources to remove a Shanks. So yeah, it can go really aggressive. So I think like Shanks is the worst card for you to play against when you play Teach against Red Purple. So I think this matchup is kind of hard because you want to trash and you don't want to trash because you don't want it to ramp, but in some cases you don't want to go down in cards. So I think this the
Blackbeard matchup is very weird. I feel like it's kind of I like to go second usually because my win condition is most of the times dropping a Shanks, and if I go second, I only need to ramp once to be able to drop him ahead of curve. So I can play a Shanks when the Blackbird player goes to 9 Don, so I can swing with him, and then Blackbird is at 9 Don, and he can't stun it, so I can swing with it again. And yeah, if you can manage to get that off, the matchup feels kind of good actually, and also Dragon is good against Blackbeard.
Yeah. So I was looking at the OP bounties. They actually did a guide on this, I think, Discord server. I was looking at the win rates, especially against Blackbeard, because I play Blackbeard and I don't really play another deck, so I did not see any other win rates. But I think when this deck goes first against Blackbeard, it has 38% win rate, and if it goes second, it has 52% win rate.
Okay.
So that's a good case that if you play this and you want to beat Teach, then you should always prioritize to go second.
Yeah, definitely. And I feel like going first is also, with this list, I feel like it shouldn't be that low. I feel like most people aren't running 4 Dragon, which makes this a lot better.
Yeah, Dragon is also definitely a problem card, because Dragon will also come out a turn earlier than he usually does. Or maybe, it should do if you go first, because you ramp 1 extra Dawn. So you go to 8, and then you can go Dragon into Shanks. And often if they play the Dragon on curve 1 turn earlier against Blackbeard, and we can't deal with the Dragon, and then they go for Shanks, then it's game over, because they have 2 big swingers, and you will not have the resources to come back from that.
Yeah. And also, like, Bond Clay, even if you can't ramp with him early, like dropping 2 Bond Clays on your 10 Don turn against Blackbeard is also very strong. I feel like the matchup is hard, like skill-wise hard. And I guess most people, like you and me, we have tested it a lot, so I feel kind of comfortable in what to do. I feel like it shouldn't be that low, even going first. Maybe probably like it's better for Blackbeard, for sure. But
and I think that the OP bounty stats, a lot of them are inflated, because you have to like address player skill, you have to address deck lists and everything. So most people play the 9 gate, the new gate, and most don't play Dragon or don't play Shanks. And when I play against a red-purple list that does not play Shanks or Dragon, then it's free win, because you will shut them out and they will not get anything going. So I think if you want to beat Teach at this deck, you have to play these more rush cards to set pressure on him. But also in this format, I think like 09, it's maybe as the argument was that you want to take against your worst matchups, and I think that's a good choice. But just taking into Teach in OP 09 maybe is a little bit too much, because you're probably not going to play a lot of them. But coming 010, I think this list gets a lot better, because you will face a lot more Teach.
Yeah, and also next set we get the free drop Sanji, the red, which I feel like this deck really wants to play. I feel like you can maybe cut this and play 2 of the Sanji or something. And I'm not 100% sure, but I definitely want to play that card.
Yeah, and you are getting the Nami too, I think.
Oh, I think we're talking the same card. It's a Nami portrait.
The Sunny Nami.
Draw a card.
My bad. Yeah. I'm so confused about this body swaps thing, so I've been calling it Nami all the time. But I think you have gotten everything about this deck. I think this deck is kind of underrated, especially if it's with a good pilot. Maybe the matchup spread is a little bit polarizing, but I think like this deck works completely fine, and probably could get some more exploration. There's maybe some techs that are undiscovered, like in all decks. But thanks a lot, Fabian. Do you want to do any last shoutouts before we end this?
No, I think it's fine. Shout out to Abster for taking me on the channel, and also for him being up to playtest against me all the time. I think I've learned a lot playing against you. So yeah,
thanks.
Shout out to Abster. Be sure to subscribe to his channel.
Thank you for the plug. Because if you don't subscribe, then we will have to end the life of this little friend. In the next one.